It's a beautiful thing to have experiences when you recognize the true nature of yourself. The small things that you never noticed before, gives you a sense of just love and peace. Things that you never recognized, maybe it's simple things that very meaningful, and yet nothing means nothing at all. All of these things is just like when you experiencing them in your true nature, it's just a beauty. It's just a joy. And then you find yourself doing things just out of the sake of love, for no real intentions, no underlying, um, motive in order to, receive. You find yourself just giving when you want to give, or doing things just for the sake of the joy of it, or, things that you're used to holding on to that you would like before never would let go of. You find yourself just letting go of things in a joyful manner. And it doesn't matter the response of the one that you're doing it for. It's just out of joy of just loving or giving. I found myself gifts that I was given for my birthday, or that my mother used to give me, like these $2 bills, and they were always so special. They are, even to this day. It's just something special about the $2 bill. It was always fun because, we're used to seeing the regular dollar, 5, 10, whatever, but the $2 bill just seemed to be a little bit more special because they were unique. And I found myself holding on to those, and then desiring to give them out like homeless people, with just pure joy on my heart. Just like, let me just give you this, or give you that. So I just held on to them just for that sake. And it was just so, I don't know, the connection of love that was there, whether or not it was veiled on their end or not. It was just the joy of just doing that, just letting go of things that I would have cherished, and set aside, and maybe for a special day brought them out. I find myself just releasing it and sharing it, really. Just the fun of sharing things. And even just the understanding of knowing that just because a thought comes in doesn't mean I have to pay attention to it, doesn't mean I have to believe it. It's okay to let it chatter if it wants to chatter, and then fly away like the wind, like the cloud that it is. I don't find myself holding on to anything. When there's a recognition of your true self, you recognize that you share this being with everyone, that breath of life that the Bible says blew into the nostrils of man. You realize that we're all interconnected, and this love, this source of life, is the fabric of that interconnection, which everything emanates and has its being. So if there is some chatter, you find that it doesn't hold weight. So it moves just like the cloud that it is. It comes, they go. You find that the things that happens during the day, that you can have a choice of how you want to treat it. You can ignore it, you can learn from it, you can find joy in the midst of all of the what we call happenings, or you can consider it as nothing. And it's just as beautiful in whichever way. You find that relationships teach you a lot about yourself, and what belief systems you're still holding on. Relationships helps you to unveil some of the conditionings that we've been brought up in, or we learned since we were children. It can teach you a lot about some of the things we're still holding on, the attachments we have, the veils that have still yet to be peeled away. All of those things, when you have a recognition of yourself, it just, every area of your life seems to unveil and unfold in such a beautiful way. No longer go to bed at night worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, because you're living in the moment. In the moment, everything can be taken care of well. Everything flows in the moment. The universe works with you instead of the mindset that it works against you. The limitations of the mind, you're able to expand beyond because you realize that just because we can see whatever it is that we see, or whatever thought that comes up in regards to what we see, that there's something that was here prior to the thought, prior to the limitations of the mind, prior to whatever it is we consider is happening. And we don't have to see it as the mind sees it. We can realize this is just all a part of the vibration, all a part of that frequency that rises and falls, that comes and goes. And we don't have to keep everything, or to keep the daily experiences as this is reality. We can just see it happening and then just acknowledge it, something happened, and it doesn't have to hurt. It doesn't have to have a story behind it that causes suffering, whether the lights got shut off and a storm came through. Maybe you were without water for a couple of days. It doesn't have to sit and hold us hostage any longer, which it never did, but a parent suffering over all this stuff, that we tend to hold on. Once there's a recognition of ourselves, these things tend to just trickle away. And we see it for what it is. It's not a source of suffering. We just realize that, hey, this is the nature of what we call the world. And we can go on and let our heart guide the intentions of the day, and everything just seems to settle in the place that they're going to settle in. And people that are around seems to just be there when we need them, or when things come up, or in the right place. I'll put it like that. At the right times, and everything. And then sometimes when there are times where we want to be by ourselves, just sit with ourselves, and those are just as beautiful as being around a lot of people. But it's such a joy to have experiences in your true nature, and in that love and that peace. And it's okay when things come up, because they're gonna come up. And we recognize we don't have to suffer. We don't have to resist the things that we consider are not favorable or not comfortable. It's those times where storms come and maybe your roof is off your home, or the water is off, or the electricity has to be out for a few hours. Find home. Remain as you are. Remain in home, and you'll find that even in the midst of all that, there was no suffering. Everything is just shining as beautifully as it was the day before. Adjustments may have to be made, but in the mindset, you didn't die. There's no turmoil, okay? And people, you'll find, show up, and help is just everywhere, and just love is just overflowing. And before you know it, you don't even realize you went through anything. Just recently, I had a situation where, I was on a scooter, and we were having fun, And I think I told this already, but yeah, I hurt my ankle. And it could have very well been broke. I don't know. Okay. I didn't consider it one way or the other. I knew that I couldn't walk on it for about a day or two. Then I could barely touch my toe down. And then after about 3 days, you know, I just kept remaining within this, you know, within myself, this love, you know, sending it love. And I just remember one night I woke up and it was almost like that feeling of a bliss, but it was all focused on that ankle. I don't know, it's just like a charge of I don't know, like electricity or what, but it just felt like love was just healing the ankle. And you know, I just knew everything would be all right. I didn't have insurance at that time because during COVID I had to let my insurance go, and I never picked it back up. It was no excuse why there was no insurance. Okay, I just didn't pick it back up. And I just didn't think about it. Yeah, I knew that a certain way I couldn't walk on it at one because I could feel something moving, as if a bone was could have been broken. And in my knee also there was some clicking going on, and so I would have to walk with a cane for a little bit. Then I kind of wrapped it with tape one day, and I found that that was restrictive, because found that that made it even like was even tighter. And it just felt like I needed to stretch it too. I just didn't need it to be too confined because I felt like that was causing the swelling to get bigger, and it was felt more restrictive in terms of rehabilitation. And so I just took it off and I just dealt with it. And slowly but surely, you know, it just kind of stretched a little bit over time, but it's fine. I'm running now. I can run again. But that's just, to me, that was a lesson of how sometimes you don't have to do anything. It worked out. My son was asking me, do you think, Mom, like looking at me like sideways, do you think you need to go to the hospital? Does it feel like something broke? I was like, I don't know, son. I'm walking on it. You know, I just left it at that. But everything worked out. Everything works out. I mean, whether you do something or you decide not to do, whatever feels right, whatever your heart, that intuitive nature, you know, as long as you go with that flow, everything tends to just go in the manner that it needs to go. There's no reason to fight or to worry or to be scared or fearful of what may come next. Even though sometimes when you're entering or you're unveiling into that recognition, it feels like you don't know, your steps are not, you know, you feel as if you don't know what's next. You don't know what's coming up next, but allow the source of life just to direct you in that way. No need to picking up worry and things of that nature, because whether you worry or not, it's all going to work out in the way that it's supposed to work out. You know, it's the mind that feels like it needs to be in control of everything, and it's not until when we let go and allow our true source of life, that being, our true being, just to rest in that everything flows wonderfully. Everything gets a little brighter. Love is love. I mean, everything just seems, you can just see the love. That everything just goes well. So that's what came up. Basically, I thought I was going to talk about something else, really. But this is I don't know what I'm going to name this. Yeah. But I guess I'll leave it there, because I have no idea of anything I just said. Anyway, thank you for sharing this moment with me. Remember that you are beautiful, and I love you. Bye.